another dead rapper in Chicago, FBG Duck. We're literally singing songs that are celebrating the killing of black people.
We live?
We live.
We live. Welcome back to the Opinion Factory podcast, the podcast for free thinkers and challenge seekers.
Yes, sir.
I'm Khelil.
I'm Alex. And recently, another dead rapper in Chicago, FBG Duck. He had a couple hit songs, a couple million views on YouTube.
What's his name? FBG Duck?
FBG Duck.
Okay. Never heard of that one.
He was a very popular rapper in Chicago, and he had some success in overall United States. Died this past week, got shot.
Was murdered.
And this just keeps... This is a constant...
Chicago rappers are dropping like flies.
It's not in Chicago, though. It's not in Chicago. If you look around, you got Little Snoop in Louisiana. You have, even Toronto Raptors. Toronto's become one of the most dangerous places for rappers. You got Pop Smoke.
Yeah, but I feel like every month a Chicago rapper is dead.
Yeah, let's talk about Chicago. Right? Another rapper's dead, and then there just seems to be this constant cycle of violence that perpetuates the city.
I'll ask you what the first question a non-black person might ask you.
Yeah.
What did he rap about?
Oh, he raps about things rappers always rap about: guns, women, bitches. I should say, if I'm using rap terms.
Mm-hmm.
Guns, bitches, killing ops. Ops is opposition, your rival gangs.
Right.
Rapping about
Fuck the police.
People from the other gangs that have died. I'm rapping about them.
He was rapping about dead people from other gangs?
Yeah.
Like disrespectfully?
Like dead ops.
Like he was bragging about it?
Yeah.
That's tough.
It's a constant cycle. It seems like everybody does it, especially Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And he's from a rival gang. So in Chicago you have Lil Durk, Chief Keef. You heard of these people, right?
Yeah,
Chief Keef, Lil
yeah,
Durk,
for sure.
The more popular rappers from Chicago.
Those are the ones who became mainstream.
And then you have FGB, who kind of stayed in Chicago, but he was still very popular there, and he still had money made from his
That's
record.
a death sentence, bro.
The problem with this is the whole culture around this is so toxic, right? And I'm just trying to figure out what is going on. It just seems like it's become so normalized that we have become desensitized to the whole situation. How many bodies have dropped? We talked about this before, but no other genre of rap, no other genre of music has people dying consistently.
Right, but what other genre of music have people consistently talking about killing each other?
I'm happy you brought that up. There's no other genre of music that is play on the radio that has that.
Right.
Not
So
one.
if
there's not one. Think about this. There's no any rock song about heavy death metal or whatever, Death to America, any of that type of stuff is not played on the radio.
Well, it used to be, but in terms of those songs, it was generalized. It wasn't like death to whiteys, death to wiggers, or whatever epithet for white people that you might have. It wasn't targeted towards them. But for us, it's I'm gonna kill you niggas.
Exactly.
I'm stun on you niggas.
Exactly. That's the whole. This is the whole thing I'm talking about.
And
no other genre. There's no genre of music being played.
And so I would tell you. What other people would tell you is you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You rap about gangs and gang violence and killing people, you're going to get killed yourself. You can't be so surprised when that happens, can you?
But this is the problem. This is the root of the problem I'm trying to solve, right? If I'm here trying to figure out what the problem is in Chicago or any of these other cities, St. Louis, Detroit, any of these other cities, Compton, any of the other cities that produce a lot of famous rappers.
Yeah.
But a lot more have died. Right. If I'm talking about these cities and how we figure out the root of this problem, as messed up as it is to say, I don't know if I'm capable for this myself.
Mm-hmm.
But rap music, the way these people talk about rap music, cannot exist in a way that's gonna make people a lot of money. Because that's all it comes down to.
Say that again. Wait.
The way rap music exists for people in Chicago, Lil Durk, Chief Keef, FBG Duck, right? You have those people,
right?
That are about killing people. They rap about that disrespect dead people.
Right.
They have died, and that type of existence of rap music cannot exist in mainstream America, and that's the rap music that does exist in mainstream America. Right. And the reason I say this is because now we, as an audience, like we act like we're not responsible for what's going on here, but we as an audience have given people like a. I don't say.
Well, we've created the demand.
Yeah, we've created the demand for this, right? So now we've showed people that they can engage in this type of behavior, right?
Right.
And if they become successful, not only is there a chance for them to become successful, there's a chance to become rich. They can leave where they're coming from, which already doesn't have a lot of avenues to get out of.
Right.
You know, like you always say, like one of the most famous things is, to get out the hood, you either had the rap or you had the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But this way of rapping also bring, like, if you're a dude that's trying to ball and get out the hood,
mm-hmm.
there's no destruction you're causing to your city. Right? You're just hooping.
You still might die, but yeah, there's no destruction.
Yeah, there's no destruction. You're just playing basketball, right?
Right.
Or if it's for whatever sport you're trying to play. When you're rapping, you're causing like severe destruction to your city.
You're perpetuating a lot of.
And now the problem is like these people that are, and it's not like solely their fault, but these people that are doing this, now they're like, oh, I can go down this avenue, I can get rich as long as I, like, you know, they always say rappers gotta be real, they gotta live by what they're saying.
Right.
So now as an audience, we want them to be real, do what they're saying, and now we're giving people that are murderers, killers, drug dealers.
Right. We said this very thing when we talked about the whole 6ix9ine case about rap and snitches and stuff like that. But I want to get back to what you said about the audience creating the demand for it. Do you think that the onus is on us?
I think it's on, aside from the rapper, which is a very key part, but it's almost like the rapper is a sacrificial pawn in this.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the symptom, not really.
Yes. There's two parts here. Who controls the airwaves, right?
Very
and
good.
Then who listens. So like I said, there is no other genre of music that does this.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's airwaves, like black people, we talked about this a lot for a while. Black people don't own anything, right? And this is a generalization, but it's a harsh reality of the situation in America. Majority of black Americans do not own anything. You can't name many black news organizations, black media organizations, right?
I would put it in the way that
there's very, very few.
I would put it in the sense that not that black people don't own anything, but most of the things that matter are not owned by black people.
Yes, we can say that, right? So black people do not own Kiss 108. They don't own.
That's a radio station in Boston.
They don't own iHeartRadio.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even own their rap and hip hop stations, right?
Right.
So now you have to keep this in mind. And now, as an executive, or as any person who's in charge of their music label, you have put out a genre of music
mm-hmm.
that you control the airways. Right? Once you control the media, people gonna listen to whatever you put out there, right?
Right. If you put it in a nice enough package, they will definitely listen.
If we lived in Boston or we lived in New York, and polka music was played from the time we were born to how old we are right now, polka music will be the most popular music in New York or Boston.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So that's how they used it with rap music, right? It's like if we push this way, if we package it this way, right, and we make it about rapping this, doing this, doing this.
Yeah. I would take it a step further and say not just that if it was played, but if it was portrayed as the thing that you need to listen to and participate in to be accepted.
Exactly.
Because they control what's accepted and what isn't as well.
So now you have these executives that own the airways pushing this harmful, detrimental thing to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And now that same community listens to that music because that's all they know.
Right. And more than that, it's not just all they know, but it's what they've been told is what you need to participate in if you want to be successful, if you want to be popular, if you want to be in the in.
Yeah, so this is
much.
This is what I am saying. So we have become these rappers, like, it's almost like become desensitized to this. Like, oh, another Chicago rapper dead. Oh, which one is it this time, right?
Right.
So it's like
you saw my face. I wasn't shocked when you told me another Chicago rapper died.
We can dig even deeper into this whole system, right? Now we have these airways that are playing on this. Oh, you have to live like this to make it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do these type of things to make it, right? You can't just rap about it. You gotta live what you're rapping about.
Mm-hmm.
What you're rapping about is very detrimental to your community already.
Mm-hmm.
That already has a lack of resources to better yourself as a person. So now we have all these killings, and the reason why I say it's an American issue, right? If people are getting murdered all over the country, this will surely be an American issue. It's only portrayed as a black issue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we dig a little deeper into statistics, right? NPR published an article a year ago about the murder solve rate in Chicago. How many murders are solved in Chicago?
I'm gonna guess.
Go ahead. Guess the amount.
The murder solve rate in Chicago.
Guess the murder solve rate in Chicago.
Illinois. Definitely not half of it. I would say definitely less than 50%. All right.
Okay.
I would say like. I'll say like 15.
15.
I'll say like 15.
It's a little low. Not that.
Okay.
All right. So
that's good
for white people, right? For white Americans or just white people.
Oh, we're considered white and black.
Yeah, the whole murder solve rate in Chicago, right? It's 4 out of 10, 40%.
Oh, okay. I was only talking about black people.
No, if you look at,
I forgot those white people in Chicago too.
If you look at the murder rate, solve rate for Hispanics, it's 33%. For whites, it's 47%. For blacks, it's 22%. 22%.
It's like half of the white rate. Less than that.
Yeah. 22 out of 100. 2 out of 10. Basically, 2 out of 10 murders where black people die
were solved.
So how is anyone supposed to figure out this issue? And then here's the thing.
But why though?
And here's the thing that goes back to who controls the airwaves. These people that control the airwaves also have messages on there that you cannot snitch. That you cannot say, you saw anything, you can't say what happened.
Right.
So now these people that control the airways control the whole culture around this whole situation.
That's actually the point that I've been waiting to make.
Yeah, so
yeah.
And it's been going on for years.
We think that the leaders of our culture are the figures that we see. We're talking about Drake, Rick Ross, YGB Duck, all those people, but not entirely. And I would say that those people are
They still are leaders.
Are they though? Because if Drake wants to make a song, let's say, a la Brenda Has a Baby, like Tupac did back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you know this, but Tupac had to fight to get that song played. All right? Because they're like, oh, you know, she has a baby, she doesn't know who the father is. That's too deep. Like, the community isn't ready for that. But I'm sure if Tupac was rapping about killing dudes, then they'd be like, all right, bet, this is fire. But anyways, he had to fight for that. If someone was to do that now, do you think that it would get the same play that, say, what's a popular song right now? Give me anything. Life is Good. That was a while ago, though.
It was like 3 months ago. I think it's Rockstar by The Babies, like one of the top
Right.
songs.
Do you think it would get that much plays, as much marketing? Would it be as high in the Billboard? I don't think it would even be approved to be released if it was about like real deep-seated community issues. And that's to say that Drake isn't really the leader of, and all these other artists, I'm not picking on Drake, but these artists are not really the leaders of the culture as we think.
I'm happy you brought up that point because Lil Baby is one of the most popular rappers of like the last 2 years. Right?
Okay.
Lil Baby's like one of the most popular rappers of the last 2 years. He released a song called The Bigger Picture. Mm-hmm. The video, like you seen it, right?
Yeah, I think it was about Black Lives Matter, right?
Yeah.
At the protests and stuff like that. I saw that.
Extremely popular song when it comes out. So this is the thing about like the history of rap music and how it was founded.
Yes.
This is what rap used to talk about.
Yes.
Even when like the West Coast gangster thing came out with NWA, Ice Cube.
It was still political.
F the Police, all this type of stuff.
Yes.
They went on to like a darker area, which we could argue was very harmful. We used to talk about like issues, and it was still a banger. Like you see that, it was still a top song when it came out. But then the next song goes back to rapping about killing and dealing dope, because that's the only thing that's sustainable within the community.
Right.
So now it's like the people, and Lupe Fiasco made a song about this too. You remember Dumb It Down?
I don't think I heard that one.
Oh man,
that's my guy though. I love Lupe.
Yeah. Lupe made a song about a thing called Dumb It Down. He talked about like the problems in the industry, like you rapping about too much real shit. You got to dumb it down. All they want to hear about is killing and bitches. Dumb it down. Like the whole premise of the song is you can't go in this type of avenue and be successful.
Right.
So now, like look at what's happened to rap music and hip hop as a whole. Mm-hmm. If you want to talk about what's really going on, you can't make a living off that.
Not really.
You can't make a lifestyle off of that.
And there's no demand for it.
No, there's a very limited demand for it because now the masses have already been told by the airways already that the people that control the media control the culture.
Exactly.
So now, since they pushed this culture on us and everyone's used to it now, what's gonna happen? Like, what is the way to solve what's going on in Chicago?
It's not even. I don't know, because it's not like rappers can just say, you know what, I'm done with this. Like Nipsey was kind of going that direction. Like he figured out like there's more to like rapping than just talking about killing dudes and Like he was talking about like stuff that would benefit the community, like owning land, reading books, all that self-development stuff. Like I like Nipsey for that, and all the other rappers that I know of who tried to shift the narrative just got kind of like left behind. Like I remember Kid Cudi said that he was gonna shift the culture right now. It's not about chains no more. It's not about bitches no more. It's not about cars no more.
Yeah.
But what you can do. I haven't heard from Kid Cudi since.
No, that's true. Like even one of the most popular rappers to do is like Common.
Oh, facts.
And Common,
can't forget about Common.
Common still makes this type of music, and you can say like music tastes evolve over time, but Common
naturally,
Common like 1996, 98, 2000 is going double platinum. Now he's not going anywhere near that, and it's like this is dumbing down over time. It's not, and maybe his music might not be as good. That's a factor. But like
he still got it. His music is still good.
I still listen to Common, but like maybe people people have different tastes now. There's more auto-tune. There's more.
That's the dumb it down. Different tastes.
There's still stylistic differences though, right? There could be like you can have auto-tune and still like talk about the stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now it's like people doing auto-tunes, people like different melodies and 808s.
I see what you mean. Okay.
So maybe like his style doesn't resonate anymore.
Sure.
But it just does not seem anyone can break out that path. The only one I know that's really done that is Joey Badass. And even he still isn't like a mainstream guy.
Yeah, I want to hear like one of his verses, not even like the full song, just like a verse.
How do we go about fixing this toxic era about rap? Like as an audience, we are fully responsible. I listen to, like, I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I listen to all types of music. I listen to new age classical piano music. I listen to pop music. I listen to house music. I listen to electronic music.
Yeah.
I'd be lying to you if I said 65% of my music on my phone wasn't rap music. I'd be lying to you if I said I listen to R&B, rock. 65% is rap music. And out of that 65%, probably like 75% is either mentioning robbing, killing, or bitches. That's how it is.
And just to be clear, we don't want to portray this as like some kind of new age issue. There wasn't music before. Like Tupac was talking about killing Biggie and all the Biggest crew and all that stuff. Like that's been in the game for a while, but it is more prevalent now. I believe it is more accepted now.
It's definitely more mainstream now. Like even this Rockstar song, like he's still talking about having like. I don't know what number this song is on the charts, but I hear it on the radio all the time. He's like, he mentioned something like a Glock and like having a gun to like shoot somebody, like messing with me like that. You don't hear this in any type of other music. And
what was that term that you used? We were talking about this before, and you said that the death of black bodies is like monetized, or the monetization of dead black bodies.
Yeah, it's the capitalization. It's literally the capitalization of black death. Right?
There you go.
So if we're talking about like companies are literally going around.
That's messed. The capitalization of black death.
Just think about it though. Companies are going around telling rappers to not only rap about killing other black. It's not people.
Oh yeah, no, you gotta say niggas. You gotta be specific.
It's killing other black people. I'll make this very clear. It's not talking about killing white people. It's not talking about killing Hispanic people or Asian people, whatever. It's talking about killing black people.
Gotta be niggas.
Right, it's a very clear discrepancy right there. They're going around talking about killing black people, robbing black people, disrespecting their women. You know.
It has to be their women, because don't forget about the Rick Ross thing. We saw that TED Talk, right? How about how black death is normalized, right?
So anyone, and this is the perfect example, right?
Right.
So most people think about the most egregious crimes you can commit: rape, murder, kidnapping, like human trafficking. Right?
Yeah.
Those are like four of the very inexcusable crimes that we have in almost any society across the board. Murder,
understandable.
Murder, kidnapping.
I think we can all agree to that.
Most societies like no tolerance for that, right?
Yeah.
So somehow the same rapper that raps about he's gonna kill somebody, he's gonna he pistol whipped some dude, did all this type of stuff. That same rapper
made it look cool.
Rapped about
date rape,
right? He rapped about he put a Molly in drink. She didn't even know it. Took it back
to the crib and enjoyed her. She didn't even know it. Canceled.
Immediately gets dropped by his sponsor, and this is what I'm talking about.
Was it Adidas?
No, Reebok.
Reebok.
Immediately gets dropped by Reebok. But the same person that Reebok said, "Hey, you want to talk about killing black people? That's cool with me. I'm
cool with it, bro.
That's cool with me, bro.
That's fire.
This is what I'm talking about. It's the capitalization of black death.
How'd you kill him?
Right. These companies are literally capitalizing on all these bodies in Chicago that are piling up.
They literally don't care. But as soon as you talk about an issue that could affect them, he didn't say took this black woman home or this well, I don't know what epithet for black women there is. It's not just bitch. Bitch is like bitch is universal. It's not about black women.
But when
But when
in rap songs, you know who they're talking about.
Right. When it's general enough, now it's like, whoa, buddy. Wait a minute. This is kind of close to home here, you know? Talk about killing your kind, you know?
So
what is it to do?
The only thing I could think of, and I don't want to get rid of rap music. Even the ignorant music, I still listen to. I still listen to this ignorant music, but I can separate. I'm able to separate that from this, right? But you have the same. This is what's a really interesting thing I'm thinking about. So, in our community, in the black community, American community, people think about the gay issue for a second, right?
Okay.
Think about all the resistance that was met, and that is still met, when there's a gay couple in a kids show.
Yes.
When there's even not even a kids show, just on TV, now they're in all the shows now, and people arguing, now this has a subconscious effect on the consumers of the product.
Yeah.
So why is there not the same subconscious effect when you consistently hear songs about killing people? How does that not work? When you consistently hear it, it's 80% of the time on the radio, rap songs about killing people. How does this not have a subconscious effect?
Well, it absolutely does, but it's normal, and it's either the subconscious effect turns into something is wrong with them, into black people. That's just what they talk about, and it sounds fun enough, so I can listen to it, jam to it, and all that stuff, or it's about something is wrong with us, as a whole. Yeah. And if that's the case, I really hope.
But that's how it's been painted, though, because now people whether it's racist or just other people are like, oh, look at these people's culture. This is their culture now. This is what they do. They want to kill each other. Now they make up all these percent of the homicide.
And then they use that to say you are hypocritical if you say Black Lives Matter and not All Lives Matter. Because if you listen to the statement Black Lives Matter, that applies to the black Chicago rappers who are being killed by other black people, right? Their lives matter.
And if we get into statistics about who's doing all the killing, assuming every murder is done by a nude person, it would still be less than 1% of the population of black people. Right? There's about 30,000 murders and violent homicides, right? So if you said each one of those and 51% of that is made up by black people, so 15,000 murders, right? So it's very simple statistics. Okay. Right? So every single one of those commits murder. It's 50,000 out of what? 40 million?
13% of 360 million.
You know what I'm saying? So it's such a tiny percentage.
That don't matter. When you look at it's not the percentage of what's happening, it's the percentage of what we see. Yeah. What is on the media? The vast percentage of black people you see in the media or songs written by black people on the radio station deals in death and murder and robbery and crimes. And so it's not really, even if it's not reflecting the reality of the situation, if that's what people see, that's what people are going to believe. That over-representation matters a lot. And like it says, it has that subconscious effect.
It does, but it's become normal. Even the way people talk about it, these people online are talking about, the enemy rappers of this FBG Duck character, they're happy as hell. And they're laughing, making jokes about it.
Well, FBG was doing the same thing, so I would expect his enemies to do the same thing.
It's sickening, though, how it's become accepted to do that, though.
Not only to accept it, but to mock it.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It's actually disgusting. We're mocking the deaths of people, and then people are dying, and we're like, these guys must be celebrating, they're having the time of their lives, they're celebrating about this. I'm like, no, man, that can't happen.
And the thing is, he's gonna be out of the news if he's even really in the news like that next week.
Yeah, it's just, and then the cycle's gonna keep.
And then it's another dead Chicago rapper.
How do we as consumers of the product, right? Because we're only consumers now. Mm-hmm. How do we get things to change?
We create a new demand.
How do we do that?
I think we all, obviously it's not realistic.
Because I think there's always going to be, especially since it's been rapped about for the last 30 years, there's always going to be a demand for it.
There's always going to be a market for it, for sure.
I still listen to this type of music myself.
Right. And there's a lot of songs that I like, and it's slipped in there. You know, it's just one flippant line about murdering somebody, and I'm like, damn. But the rest of the song is good.
But that's how it goes, though.
But as far as creating a new demand, as far as the consumers go, obviously it's not realistic to just expect everyone to agree, okay, let's just all listen to Common now and make sure that these companies know that we want music that deals with the issues that we face and music that's not creating or perpetuating more of the issues that we already deal with. And the easiest way to do that I think is through social media influencers. Think about, if we're not talking about, we're talking about who leads the culture. We have obviously the people who control the airwaves, the leaders of the record labels and the radio station owners and all that. But if you go to, let's say, if PewDiePie, or that's the biggest YouTube channel, or what's the biggest Instagram, Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, posted videos now, and they're listening to really conscious, I'll call it conscious black music, rap music about like Brenda's Got a Baby and changes and stuff like that. You don't think that that would definitely create a demand larger than the demand right now for these violent black songs?
I don't know, man. If you think about the way rappers blow up, it's a very simple thing. They blow up. You know, if you become any form of entertainment, especially with music though, you get a local following around your city,
right?
And then that local following is expanded outside of your city until you're eventually mainstream. It's the same thing like comedy. Like comedians to become famous, they do like a lot of comedy. They do like a lot of comedy clubs, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're in New York, a lot of reasons why comedians go to New York. A bunch of comedy clubs over there. They run the circuit. Hopefully, enough people have liked their content.
Create a buzz online. Online buzz. That's key.
And now it expands outside of the city. Same thing with music. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that though, because if I'm a Boston rapper, if I'm a Chicago rapper, where am I getting my buzz from? My initial buzz is always gonna come from where I'm from.
Right, but at the same time, you're gonna get buzz because people are really messing with your music, and if the music that people are messing with has a particular theme and message to it. How do you
get buzz though? You get buzz locally, and then it goes globally. It's almost never the other way around where you get buzz globally.
No, but it starts with the. So I'm a regular Bostonian. I go on Instagram and I see Cristiano Ronaldo practicing, and he's playing some comment in the background, right? And he's been doing that for a while now. A bunch of his posts, like really conscious black music. Oh, this go hard. What song is this? I listen. I like it. My little brother comes up to me. Yo, my friend is trying to be a rapper. Check out his song. I listen to it, and it sounds like Common. Like he's rapping about some real stuff. All right, I like that. I'm gonna tell you about it. You like it. You saw the video. You like some Common stuff. Everyone else in the city likes it because now it started from the top, quote unquote, with the social media influencers. Those people, I feel like we know how powerful these people are, bro. They can shift the culture. They can shift the culture.
Especially when they don't control the airwaves, though.
No, they don't, but they influence what people want. And when people create the demand, the airways have to meet that demand. I don't
think they shift the demand that much.
I want to say they can. Because look at what happened with Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova got big because they targeted Instagram influencers first. Clothing. I know it is, but I'm
there hasn't been no universal thing of clothing. You have to do clothing this way.
I know, but
you can't become successful.
Because of that, everybody knows about Fashion Nova. And everybody wants Fashion Nova.
They also have the marketing budget of like Jeff Bezos.
That was actually crazy because they just came out the cut like being able to pay everybody. I don't know how they did that. That's besides the point, though.
Yeah, I don't know how much pull those influencers can have. I mean, demand is just. I get where you're coming from, and
it's not gonna happen immediately.
And Fashion Nova and all that stuff. I know what you're coming from, but I don't know if they can break this pool. I just want to make a quick correction, a quick fact check. It was 15,000 homicides.
Total.
Yeah, not 30,000.
Okay.
So if we're going with that, and the statistics of homicides is 52% of Black Americans commit the homicides, right? That leaves about 52% of 15,000.
Which is
about like 7,600 or so.
Okay.
7,500 is half of 15, so about 7,200. 7,600, excuse me. So 7,600 if every black murder is committed by a new person. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean...
obviously not.
But if, right, just to estimate high, of 41.1 million people, 7,600 out of
7,600 people out of 41 million people.
Now, I'm no mathematician, but I'm sure that's less than 1%. Even less than 0.1%.
You got the math? Hold on. About to bust out the...
So it's just to debunk this black, this naturally black, freaking narrative that black, because often people point to the rap music culture as the reason why Black Americans are so
7,600 out of 41 million, right?
Yeah.
0.00019%. All right.
So that's the percentage of black murderers if everyone was brand new.
Might be low for white people though, right?
Yeah, the same thing is 48% out of how many.
Right,
so
right.
The homicide rate is still not. I mean, per race, it's still not as high as it seems. Especially with a country filled with 330 million people. U.S. is still dangerous, but this is besides the point. The point is now we have our leaders in our culture, or alleged leaders, like you talk about Drake or whatever, are like the former drug dealers, the convicts, and now these are people that are being the trendsetters for the culture, being pushed on by the higher ups that are capitalizing on Black Death. But now if you think of like the 50 Cent got shot 9 times, been to jail. You have all these other rappers that have been to jail that brag about going to jail.
Like all the professions that used to be shunned are now being glorified. That's drug dealing, that's stripping, that's go-go dancing, that's, selling your body for money. All that stuff is now get your bag, get your money, get it how you want it. And none of it, like, it doesn't matter how you do it no more. And back in the day, there used to be a code to these things. There used to be rules. Drug dealers, you would have to operate like on the low, like on the slide. But now it's like you want people to know because now you're gonna be popping.
Think about Jay-Z. People always say about him all the time. Like, Jay-Z really sell drugs. You hear people criticizing, like, I don't know anybody who knows that Jay-Z sold drugs.
Probably because back in the day, you had to keep that on the low.
Well, even if that, like, why is that a barometer test for him? Like what
I see your point.
What is this?
If he didn't really sell drugs, then we can't fuck with him no more.
Like how stupid is that? How toxic is that? And we've been dumbed down for so long by the people that control the airways, and they weaponize Black Death. They're capitalizing off Black Death.
Black Death is so lucrative; it's disgusting.
We need to change this somehow.
And why is it just black people?
It's not even the ones that not only they weaponize Black Death.
That's a different episode.
They also weaponize black incarceration. People look at the amendment like you can technically have quote unquote slave labor if you're in prison.
Right, the 13th Amendment.
Go look at how many prisoners are doing work for a lot of these companies that you know, and they're paid 2 cents per hour.
If anything, right? Are they obligated to get paid?
No, they're not. Like
right.
There was a controversy about using the prisoners to fight the California wildfires.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're all voluntary, and like now people have to sacrifice their lives as their prisoners. So now it's like we know that more black people are put in jails. That's an episode for another day, but there's reasons why. And now the same thing on their deaths.
And what we don't know is why is it that it's only black people that have this type of culture? Is it because it's our own making? I want to say no, because like we said before, this is not how rap started.
No, it's not.
Rap started as a political thing. And then it's slowly over the years, the last 20 or so years, it got twisted.
And the problem that comes with it is it's glorified. This is the problem. So even if there was rapping about it, it wasn't as glorified as it was in the same instance it is now. So now, like you said,
what was the most popular rap song in like 1996?
I couldn't tell you.
Like, what do you think? Like, if you had to guess, what do you think? Would it be about like the most popular song right now would be about? Doubt it.
If you want 86, I'd say yeah. 96.
Even 96.
Sure. Nah, I'm not too sure 96. If you said 86, I'd be like yeah.
96 was just after Biggie and Pac died, bro. I don't think the biggest song right now would be about killing people.
Yeah, think about what's going on. Everything that's going on with Biggie and Tupac, how they're rapping about killing people. If you went like 90, if you went like 89, 90, 86, then you have me. But even 90s, even like the early late 90s, that's when NWA's popping. That's when Straight Outta Compton's going on. You gotta think about those type of things.
Right.
So
Grandmaster, yeah.
You have to think about how much the West Coast, like in the gangster rap.
Like I could say, like easily back in like '86, the biggest song out was about political change. I saw that article. I'm confident to say it,
and I want to correct it if it's wrong.
Yeah.
But like,
and that's what I mean. Where I don't think it's our own making that we're in this position right now.
No, it's not. But it's the glorification of these things. Right now, you have these people that have come up that don't have anything, and now Givenchy bags, Louis Vuitton, Ferraris, gold chains, custom made.
And I don't think they want to be like that when they start.
I mean, they don't have.
I feel like they're fitting a character that's been laid out before them because that's how they can make it.
You got money phones and having stacks of money in your pictures now, like
because that's the character that you're obliged to. That's the character in your contract.
Yes, what you have to be, and this is a dumbing down that has to change. I don't know how it changes. Right, I don't know how it changes.
Probably got to make underground rap. The rap again. Like people talk about this all the time. Like I remember my boy said back when Wiz Khalifa was underground, like he was the shit, like he was nice. He came out, Black and Yellow and all those other pop songs, like mainstream rap songs and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, he got trashed because he became mainstream. That happens a lot. I know you hear that a lot. When people go from underground to mainstream, it's like their whole style changes. The context of their song change, the themes that they talk about change for a lot of them. And that's not on accident.
So let's look at this, right? The top 40 songs, hip hop songs in 1986. Run DMC, My Adidas.
My Adidas?
Yeah, My Adidas, right? Beastie Boys. You know, remember the Beastie Boys?
I remember the Beastie Boys.
They have several up there. And like, My Mic Sounds Nice, Salt and Pepper. Like, you understand like how the theme changes over time?
And I don't want to say, you know, this is a result of like escapism rap. Escapism rap has always existed, I feel like. It's not always been political. It's always been a part of rap that talks about, you know, my mic is nice, my shoes are fresh, my car is nice.
Let me walk you through the lyrics of this Run DMC song. Run DMC, classic hip hop group.
Mm-hmm. Which song is this?
My Adidas, right?
Okay.
One of the top 40 hip hop songs in 1986. My Adidas. Walk through concert doors and roam all over Coliseum floors. I stepped on stage at Live Aid and all the people gave an applause that paid. And out of speakers I did speak. I wore my sneakers, but I'm not a sneak. My Adidas cut the sand of a foreign land. With the mic in hand, I could take command.
Powerful.
Where is that? Like the dude's just talking about being fresh, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Come on, being fresh, being dope.
But it still got a little message in there. Like that hit me.
There is nothing in there about killing, robbing.
Get to the third verse. Can't speak yet.
Now the Adidas I possess for one man is rare. Myself, homeboy, got 50 pair, got black and blue because I like to chill, and yellow and green when it's time to get ill. Got a pair that I wear when I'm playing ball with the heel inside, make me 10 feet tall. With my Adidas only bring good news, and they're not used as selling shoes.
Notice he said that my boy got 50 pairs. He wasn't stunting on his boy, was he?
No, and this is what I'm saying.
Can you imagine that, right? Well, I mean, I guess you're not always stunting on other people in rap. All right.
Not.
All right.
But this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, we did not, this whole thing, Beastie Boys, hold it now. Hit it. Now I chill real ill when I start to chill. When I fill my pockets with $9 bills, sipping pints of ale out the windowsill. When I get my fill, I'm chilly chill. Now I just got home because I'm out on bail. What's the time? It's time to buy ale. Peter Eater, Peter Meter, all of the time. If I run out of ale, it's Thunderbird wine. Dude's talking about drinking and getting money.
Top song.
Like this is like none of like this is where
it's
I'm saying.
Accident. It's not an accident.
Look at how it's changed over time, right? And I can just keep going song for song for song. I can keep reciting lyrics. I'm not gonna boil it down, but my point is simply this: over time, rap has become this thing that's capitalized on Black Death, and nothing is being done about it.
Mm-hmm.
And now the rap culture that's been ingrained in our society is now being used as an excuse to not handle bigger issues around Black culture. Now it's not
exactly.
Now they're not American issues; they're Black issues. Black issues caused by the music you people make, right? And the music we make is being made because for these individuals of a currently horrendous school system or housing system, right? All these gangbanging areas are from projects in Chicago, Detroit. Like, I don't even have to talk to you about what's going on in Detroit, whatever. Flint, all these St. Louis, all these poor, broken down communities that have people that have no chance to escape. They see, oh, there's a way to get rich if I do all this. This is the only way to get out. And it's like, oh, it's gonna result in more Black Death. But this is the way to get out.
Carefully curated system, it seems like.
Oh, 100%.
And so it can't be easy to break out of this. A lot of people would watch this episode and be like, y'all tripping. That music is fire.
You could say it's fire or not, but the whole problem is now people are being able to capitalize off the deaths of these Black men and women in our
But who cares?
I mean, who cares?
Anybody who cares about other people care, right? But why should the average Black man who's working 2 jobs to feed his family care about this? Or the average Black woman
because it could be your it could be a son, it could be a daughter. What do you mean why should you care? Why you don't want to be Black to care about this? This should not be a Black issue. It should be an American issue.
It should be.
People are dying.
But people don't care right now for a reason.
And why is that? Rates, people are dying.
You think people don't care right now because they don't know about this? They don't really realize that we're all part of this very, very intricate system?
I'll tell you what. A lot of people don't care because they don't think it will affect them.
But like I said, why should you care? And you said because it will affect you and it could affect you next, especially if you live in these especially affected areas like Chicago and Detroit. you should care, but it's like these people care the least. When you're in it, if you either join this gang or get beat up every day, so you join the gang. You know what I'm saying? When you're in it, you really don't care about what's happening outside of your bubble.
But that's when, of course, because you're in it.
You don't care about the whole external system. You can't care about it.
Your mentality is like you have to stay alive.
Survive.
Right? You have to stay alive.
You can't care about this stuff.
You have to oblige by this code, right? But if you're on the outside looking in,
us,
right?
If you're us,
it can't be. Oh, these people are naturally monsters. It has to be, how do we get these people with a lack of resources to get ahead of them, like to put food on their table?
Or we could just think, well, this is what it's like to be black. Let me bump this. Turn this up, bro.
The audience has a large part in this. I'm just gonna keep this real. Us as a has a large part.
Oh, absolutely.
The radio heads, the music execs.
I asked you this question before. Why do we keep making stupid people famous? You said because it's entertaining. We just want to be entertained.
The difference between rap music and other forms of music is there's a character behind the music. And a character has to be upheld no matter what.
It's not just black music that does that, though.
No, but the other ones aren't nearly as dangerous.
No, they're not as destructive. Like, I would say, like, Lady Gaga is a character.
Yeah, Lady Gaga is a character. She's like this ominous... Or there's another girl. I forget her. I think it's like Sia or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Has, like, she never shows her face. Hers the same way. Always wears her sunglasses. That's character. That's just fun. That's entertainment character. You're not hurting nobody. Half of it's, like, the ominous, mysterious character. Mm-hmm. Another part is actually pretty cool. It's like, oh, I get to protect my personal identity.
Right. And Daft Punk. Yeah. Definitely characters. But now when you talk about characters like Rick Ross, characters like
50 Cent,
the baby or Lil Baby, whatever his name
Durk,
is. Yeah, FBG Duck.
We're getting Lil Vaughn, King Vaughn. We're getting the people that these characters
rewarded for as being as disrespectful and as violent as possible.
Exactly. That's the problem. I don't know how to change it, but we have to highlight. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I wish I knew.
I'm just tired of seeing all these people dying that are trying to either make it out their current situation, or just like get money, man. Like this should not be a get rich or die trying type thing.
Very toxic message.
You know, and it's having a negative effect on all of us. Like people online really like, oh, this guy died. Oh, I bet these guys are celebrating.
Right.
Making jokes.
Like my boy hit me to that 50 song the other day that talked about how if 50 can't find you, he's gonna shoot up your mama's house. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. So I listen to the song, and then what comment do I see? Yeah. A line celebrating that very lyric about shooting up his mama's house. Like, what kind of sick bastard?
We're literally singing songs that are celebrating the killing of black people. We're doing that right
Innocent
now.
Black people, your moms.
As long as it has a catchy beat and it has a nice flow.
And it's sung by someone who's very popular, maybe.
We are celebrating songs
gotta stop it.
That's celebrate the killing of black people.
Gotta stop it. And then we gotta address maybe in a different episode how this jives with Black Lives Matter. Because a lot of people use this. How can Black Lives Matter if you're not talking about this stuff?
Talk about how my only question I have to ask y'all is, how do we fix what's going on in Chicago? How do we fix what's going on in Chicago? How do we fix what's going on in Detroit? How do we fix what's going on in St. Louis?
How do we fix what's going on in America, man? It's an American problem. Then a Chicago problem, not a Detroit problem.
You're right. How do we fix what's going on in America, the rap culture that's persistent, destructive, and gonna affect all of us eventually if we don't do something?
And make no mistake, rap culture is not black culture. Rap culture is American culture. Make no mistake. Let us know what you think.
Opinion Factory Podcast. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a like. Share the audio with your friends. Share the YouTube with your friends. We're on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. Wherever you listen to the podcast, subscribe to the channel. Like the video.
Greatly appreciated.
And we will see y'all
next week. Peace.